I am Jordan Parker. I am doing Development Coaching and Fitness Level 3, and this is Psychology in Sport, Assignment 2. Arousal. Arousal is referred to as the psychological state of alertness and anticipation that prepares the body for action. It is considered to be neutral because it is either positive or negative. It involves both psychological activation and physiological activation. Arousal is typically viewed as along the continuum, with a deep steep at one extreme and excitement at the other. Individuals who are optimally aroused are those who are mentally and physically activated to perform. In sports such as archery, diving, and shooting, their arousal will be much lower as they have to concentrate. However, in sports such as football, basketball, and rugby, their arousal will be much higher as there is less need to concentrate. Hole's drive theory. Hole's drive theory demonstrates a positive correlation between the performance and arousal. This basically says that if you are low arousal level, your performance level will be low. If your arousal level is high, your performance will be high. This might differ between novice and elite athletes because a novice would need to stay at a lower arousal level so that they can concentrate and get that performance. However, an elite athlete can go to a higher arousal level to get that higher performance that they require to perform their sport. An example of this theory would be taking a penalty in football. This could be that they are highly aroused, therefore they could take the penalty and score it. However, I don't feel that this theory is very valid because some players may get over-aroused and therefore their performance could drop because they are not concentrating and they are not focused. Inverted U hypothesis. The inverted U hypothesis is a hypothesis that shows the relationship between arousal and performance. This relationship is shown in an inverted U shape, which shows that the arousal level has an under-aroused level, an optimally aroused level, and an over-aroused level. The link between arousal level and performance says that you can be over-aroused and under-aroused. So there is this optimal level of arousal. This is where you will reach your maximum performance. The inverted U hypothesis will be different for different sports. For example, in sports such as football, basketball, and rugby, they will have the inverted U further up. This means that the arousal level has to be higher for that maximum performance. This is because the sport requires less concentration and more determination and motivation to get what they need to do done. However, in sports such as shooting, diving, and archery, the arousal level is much lower because that maximum performance requires a lot of concentration and focus. Football, basketball, and rugby generally have motor skills and gross skills. Motor skills need an above average level of arousal. Gross skills are performed best with high arousal. However, archery, diving, and shooting need fine skills. Fine skills are performed best with low arousal. This is because they need concentration and focus. Novice versus elite. With novice versus elite, there will be 3 different inverted U's. The beginning one, labelled there, the intermediate one, and the advanced one. The beginning one shows the novice. This is like this because they need the low arousal level because their performance is low. This is because they don't know the sport very well, so they're learning the skills and they need to concentrate and focus on getting the skills right, such as a pass in football. They need to focus on opening their body, focus on passing with the inside of their foot. However, intermediate players, they can get more aroused because they have a better understanding of skills, and elite players can get aroused a lot more. This is because they're at the highest point of their chosen sport, therefore their performance is really high, their skills are high, so they can get more aroused and get the higher performance that they need. Catastrophe theory. Sports psychologists have noted that performance does not always go in the inverted U theory. Instead, many top sports people tend to choke in big situations, and this is the catastrophe theory. As shown here, their arousal will go up to optimal performance, and then they get over aroused and they choke. This is where the big drop comes down. Then it will either go one of 2 ways. They will try and motivate themselves by becoming over aroused and continue to go down. Their form and performance will continue to get lower. However, they could de-arouse themselves, focus, concentrate, look at the goal that they have to achieve, which will bring them back along this line, and then they can arouse themselves to where they can get the high performance and optimal performance. A sporting example of the catastrophe theory would be Fernando Torres when he played against Man United. The situation when he was in poor form, for a while, he gets a chance against a big team, he's playing well, he's at his optimum performance, he takes the ball round the goalkeeper and chokes. He misses the open goal. He choked. From then on in that game, his performance declined. It didn't come back. He was getting frustrated, getting over aroused, and his performance kept getting lower and lower until he got substituted off. Stress. Stress is the process when an individual will respond to a threat with a series of psychological and physiological changes by what we perceive as demands, threats and fears will outweigh the capabilities and benefits. This can be done in 4 stages. Stage 1, demand. This would be like being the last person in a penalty shootout where the pressure is on. Stage 2 is the perception of the demand by the athlete, whether it be positive or negative, whether they see it as a challenge or a threat. Stage 3 is the increased arousal levels, which is either going to be eustress or distress. Eustress giving the increased energy and motivation, seeing it as a challenge, and distress is increased worry, where they see it as a threat. Stage 4 will be outcome. If they get positive perception and eustress, it will be increased performance. Whether they get negative perception and distress, it will end up being a reduced performance. Therefore, if it was the last penalty and they saw it as a challenge, they could possibly score depending on the goalkeeper. If they had the negative perception, so the threat, they could end up missing the ball, they could end up kicking it really high and really wide and lose the game. Eustress is that good feeling of stress. It gives you the feeling of fulfillment. This will increase your motivation and energy, which will increase your skill level and attention to specific aspects of the sport. It will help to increase your intrinsic motivation, so the feeling you get, the challenge. Distress is the bad form of stress. This will give you extreme forms of anxiety, nervousness, apprehension, or worry. The sympathetic response refers to stress. The sympathetic response can be seen through pupils dilating, the heart rate increasing, the breathing rate increasing, the blood being redirected to the limbs, and the digestion stopping. Therefore, vasodilation and vasoconstriction has happened, and a slowed down metabolism. The parasympathetic response can be seen in basically the opposite way. Therefore, the pupils constrict, the heart rate decreases, the breathing rate decreases, the blood goes to all the major organs, digestion will resume, and there will be an increase in metabolism. Types of stress. We can get stress from external and internal things. External things will be the things in our surroundings and our environment. This could be things such as pressures of competitions, the pressures of the opponents, say they were at a higher level than you, the crowd, whether the crowd are booing you. That would be stressful because the pressure is building up. The weather could be stressful because in football, if it's raining, the ball can slide away from you and you can't catch it. All of it can get on your nerves. And major life events such as separation from family and friends. Internal types of stress are things that we think about. This can be things such as past memories and experiences, current injuries, past injuries, and feelings of self-worth. For example, you could have a past memory of an experience of you missing a penalty in football, and the pressure can build and build and build. Will you score it again? Occupation can be a cause of stress. This is because it's related to your job, e.g. your satisfaction of the job. Maybe you don't like it, or you could be unemployed, and this could get you stressed as you're looking for a job but you can't find one. Sport could be disagreements with officials. This could be where you disagree with what the official has given, therefore you become stressed and it ruins your performance.